This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Josh Has Autism.
Hello.
Josh, I've missed doing the podcast with you.
Me too.
Yeah, I think we've missed 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell everybody why, and then also talk about what I should have done different to get to that point, right? So there have been a number of things, but 2 things happened since the last podcast that we did. One thing was that I was lifting a paver, and a paver is a thing that you put on the ground to make it so you're not just standing on grass. It's like can make a patio or a pathway or whatever.
It's like a block that is set up.
Yeah. And these are pretty big. And what I did is I picked one up and I herniated 3 discs in my neck. And that has been more painful than anything I've ever experienced. My whole right arm was...
You couldn't...
function, really. It just was super, super painful. But it was numb and at the same time tingly down my fingers.
Yeah. You were constantly having it tensed up.
Yeah.
Involuntarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, so I had dealt with that, I was having trouble walking. And it was up in my neck, so it didn't affect my legs. So it wasn't the spine issue that then was affecting my legs. It was like having a very hard time walking. And weird things, right? Like I couldn't walk, my left eye wouldn't open all the way. Just weird things, feeling kind of lightheaded and just not normal. And I went to the doctor and I told her this, and she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know what this is. Let's do blood work." The day after that, she called me and said, "You have to go to the emergency room immediately." And she said that my liver enzymes that are supposed to be 37 were 440. And that started this slew of hospital visits for just various testing. And I mean, in one testing alone, they took 15 vials of blood. So they were trying to find out. They thought it was an autoimmune disease. But they tested for tuberculosis, for diabetes, for Lyme, for I can't think of what else. Any other kinds of things that doctors would think it was reasonable.
Right.
The results came back, and I heard from 3 different doctors. One is a Chinese medicine doctor, and the other 2 are military doctors. And what's interesting to me, and it makes sense, is that military doctors, well, this was internal medicine, and because of what went on, military doctors are now trained to treat like mind, body, spirit. And what that means is there's more to us than just our physical body. And those things can affect us. Well, because of all the head injuries from the people coming back from conflicts overseas. And so anyway, what they said was this was a physical shutdown, basically, of my liver, due to non-physical trauma. And I know exactly what happened. It has been, I don't know what because it messed with my head too, so I don't remember exactly what we talked about, but 7 family members have died. I mean, there's people that you don't recall, but they were my cousins, and we text, and we, had a relationship. Yeah. But Dad's dad died. My mom, my pappy's mom, so my grandma, and cousins. And on top of that, our beloved little dogs, Oliver and Einstein.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's been some strife that has really caused some pain. I don't want to go into details, but it just was something that was shocking to me and upsetting very, very much. And everything is fine with us. Like, we're fine. Your dad, myself, you. Except for what happened was, if you can only take so much, what happens is your body then shuts down.
I know.
I said this to you at one point. I said, oh, I get it. You take it, and then you shut down.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely know what that's like.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make light of it
No,
either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's frustrating when it happens. You're overwhelmed. You don't... With me, it's mentally, I'm overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
With you were physically overwhelmed due to mental stress, it seems. That's part of it, at least.
I would agree with that. Like, mental and emotional stress caused my liver to just kind of go wacky. Yeah. And the reason it affected my legs is because your liver has the liver channel goes down into your legs. They go through your hips and down into your legs, all the way down to your toes. So it was really a really bad situation. I couldn't walk. I couldn't really function. My blood pressure was 160 over 100, and normal is 120 over 80.
Yeah.
So the physical toll that it's taken from... And here's why I wanted to talk about that on the podcast, because people that listen on a regular basis are like, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah. And I appreciate that, and I haven't been able to really answer people because I haven't been able to really function.
Right.
And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because it's so important for caregivers to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And the trauma of losing everybody and feeling that grief without having any sort of outlet, without slowing down, without giving myself time to heal through that and to actually give myself time that I needed, I just kept going and doing for everybody else.
Yeah.
Until the point in the time that my body was in cahoots with the universe and said, nope, you're sitting down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I had to do.
Yeah. And that's really important because I know that you do a lot of stuff for me. I see you do a lot of stuff for me to help take care of me. And I'm fairly certain there's a lot more that I don't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just me. There's Pappy, Dad, Haley, RJ, kids. Mm-hmm. And you're taking care of all of them. And the pups. And you're making sure all of us are okay.
And out of all of those, the pups are the ones that are most demanding. It's like, you can wait for me to do something. You will understand. If I say, just give me a minute, you're understanding. The pups are like, I don't think so.
Well, that's specifically
I want my
Bean.
food. Yeah. Bella Bean. Oh my gosh, is she bossy.
She sees a food bowl and she's automatically yelling at you, feed me now.
Yeah, but they are also little alarm clocks. Because if I don't feed them by 5 o'clock, they're both sitting there staring at me going, you get my attention. Yeah.
Einstein was worse, though.
Oh, Oliver.
Einstein was more accurate, though.
Oh, Einstein, yeah, he was this little clock.
Yes.
He knew when it was time.
Yeah. And heaven forbid there was a time change.
Yeah, I tried to talk reason to them.
Well, that was your first problem.
Yeah, I know. I know. What I had to do was like change it in increments of like 15 minutes each day until we were on a schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you're right, and I also want to make a point that I wasn't doing things for everybody begrudgingly.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was upset doing those things. I was just doing those things.
Yeah.
And on top of that, writing and performing, and which is, by the way, going fantastic.
Yeah.
And before all of this happened, so I'm really looking forward to getting back and,
Yeah.
So I'm sharing an awful lot about you these days, so it's a lot of fun for me. So Nana always told me that I needed to share what I've learned through you with an audience because it's going to make a difference. And I'm seeing that it is, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I think what happens is with caregivers, especially if somebody's just like a natural caregiver, we can just go and go and go, and little things will pop up and we ignore it. And I think it's important for people to hear that don't ignore it. Don't keep putting yourself last. What I've learned through all this, I have completely changed my diet. I've been vegan for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 10 years. And I can't be a vegan anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't. I have to have the protein for my muscles.
Yeah.
And I'm also eating to lower the enzymes in my liver, which are right now at 77. So it went from 440 to 77, and I'm continuing to eat extremely healthy. So what I've done is I cut out, I didn't drink a lot anyway, but it's interesting, Josh, that if anybody ever has a liver problem, first thing you ask you, how much do you drink? I'm like, I had 2 beers in the month of March. I can tell you where I was, and one of them was a Guinness, because that's my favorite, and the other one was a Blue Moon, because that's my other favorite. I only had 2, but I had to quit drinking entirely. But it's just weird to me. Like, I don't drink, I had 2 beers, and then they go off and they discuss it, and they're like, well, it sounds like she's telling the truth. But I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like, people think that there's...
Yeah, it was just 2 beers.
Yeah, right. It was 2 beers. Yes, officer, I've only had 2 beers.
Yeah.
Yes. So...
Sarcasm for the win.
Yeah. And so, what?
We're doing a podcast. Josh has autism. I used sarcasm.
Yes. That's funny. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I don't know what I was saying.
Your diet.
Oh, yes.
I actually remembered.
You remembered. Thank goodness. Because this whole thing really,
Yeah.
kind of got my train of thought keeps on,
Yeah.
breaking.
You were saying that you had to change your diet.
Yeah.
And that you had 2 beers in the month of March.
So now this was,
I think you said March.
I think I meant April. I think I meant February.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what today is. So anyway, no, I guess it was March because it's been recent and we do these every week. And so we've missed 3 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you for staying with us, everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I changed my diet. No alcohol at all. No sugar. Try to stay away from processed foods.
Yeah. But no sugar?
No sugar. Yeah. And I love candy.
Yeah.
I love junk food.
Yeah.
And in the research that I've done, it really affects your liver and doesn't give it the best shot of healing.
Right.
And so I've changed stuff. Like I used to think I hated salmon. but I actually like it. And so I'm eating that a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Leafy vegetables.
You cut out salt as well.
I did. And
which, how many foods actually don't have salt or sugar?
I know. I know. But today, I'm not on blood pressure medicine. My blood pressure I just took it. It's 120/70.
Oh.
With no medication. That just happened with food. And I haven't even been able to exercise yet. So, being sick, that 3 weeks, I lost 14 pounds from being sick.
Wow.
But I didn't know this. If your liver's wonky, you don't have an appetite. I didn't know that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I've lost weight, and which no,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But so my point is that sometimes if you don't slow down to take care of yourself, you will be made to slow down and take care of yourself.
Yeah. And not, whether it be a physical issue like this, there's also the possibility where you continue to push yourself and burn yourself out. And that's not good either. I think the whole point, though, is that to be able to help someone else, you need to make sure that you're okay yourself to help.
Mm-hmm. I think we've talked a little bit about that before. I think it is worth talking about again. I don't think we have a choice but to talk about that, because that's why we've missed 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I got bronchitis.
Yeah.
So, because I was already in a state of just, and everybody says, your family stays sick, you stay sick, you stay sick. That's because we have 2 little walking petri dishes here all the time.
Yeah.
They're 6 and 7. And as we speak, Madison, the 6-year-old, is at home with strep throat and covered in hives.
Oh my gosh.
Started the antibiotic today. So, that little peanut catches everything from school.
Yeah.
And so, we need the summer to get here just so we can all get healthy.
Yeah.
So anyway, Madison's whole class, your sister just told me that Madison's whole class has strep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
And I'm not talking as loud as I usually do, or as with much tone, I think.
mm-hmm.
Because my throat's itching me,
Yeah,
basically.
you're kind of subdued today.
Yeah.
In a different way. Because I can tell when you're subdued because you're not here, because your eyes, to me, are kind of foggy. Not clear.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So, and
As opposed to just being autistic.
no, I think
I'm sorry,
No,
I threw
no.
you off.
I know, I can't, my brain is not able to, because I don't know what you're talking about.
That I'm not here really because I'm not
Of
feeling
your voice
well.
instead of not being here because of autism.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. This is true. This is true. And you not being here from autism is something that is just really interesting as you say that. I just am so used to you that it's just part of who you are. It doesn't even faze me. It's like, okay, no, not now. Okay. I can go and say something to you and you look at me, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come back.
Yeah. And it's not a glare or anything like that either.
Mm-mm.
It's one of those, I'm not doing okay.
Right.
At least that's what I assume you see. Cause
Yes.
Because that's how I feel.
Yes, that's exactly what I see. And I recognize it just because I know you so well.
Yeah.
Mm. So there has been a few weeks now that I really haven't been able to be there for you like I normally have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing? I mean, I see you all the time.
Yeah. I've been here. Wouldn't really say I'm okay or otherwise. I'm just here.
I will say this. You do not like hospitals. You don't want to go to a hospital. You won't go in to see somebody that's sick.
Right.
But
If I need to go, I'm okay doing that. Not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. But going to see someone else,
yeah, I understand. The thing that I wanted to comment on is how much you have been there for me the past few weeks. And I was, again, not... I had a really hard time walking, so I had to have help walking.
Yes.
It's not like my legs were noodly, but it's like where my legs meet in the socket of my hips. It's like it was my hip, like it's like it wasn't secure. My legs were like kind of bouncing on. Like I would...
Like one of those really early robots that were just like the framework.
Well, yeah. They took a CAT scan of my brain, and they took a CAT scan of my whole torso, just to see if there was some kind of tumor or something like that going on, because things weren't working. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Yeah. It's like movement was strange and kind of jerky and not normal. They didn't know, like, check to see if I had a stroke. You know, and fortunately, it was because of the liver. The whole thing was because of my liver, and that's something that I'm healing from, and I will completely heal from.
Yeah.
But you were phenomenal when I have been so sick these 3 weeks. I sat on the couch, and for a while I couldn't cook.
You could barely talk because you were having so much issues, even with breathing and everything. It seemed like
it was the whole thing. Yeah. Well, I got sick. Like I got that.
That's right.
So I have 3 herniated discs in my neck, and then my liver enzymes are, get an attitude and are completely out of control, and then I get bronchitis.
So you had one working arm, and that's about it.
One working arm, and it was shaky. Yeah. So, but you were asking me if I needed anything. You would help me get up. You would help me walk down the hall, and it just...
I took you to the doctor.
Yeah.
And walked you in and everything. Yeah.
That first day.
Yeah.
Because when I couldn't walk and I went to the doctor to begin with.
Yeah.
You're the one that took me and walked me in. Yeah. So I just want to say out loud for anybody and everybody that you have been fantastic. You just stepped up and have really been amazing to me and for me, and I just want to say thank you, and I love you, and I appreciate you.
Thanks. Love you too.
And that is what's been going on. We're healing. It'll continue to heal, and I am wiped out, so I think we need to be done.
Okay.
All right, sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll say it then.
Okay.
Thanks for everyone for stopping by and listening. We really appreciate it. Sorry that we've missed a few weeks. We're trying to get back into the swing of things once we're all okay and can actually talk. If please like us and follow us.
Isn't it a funny term? Please like us. That's really, isn't it a funny term?
Yeah. Anyways, you can listen and follow us at sonyaking.com, sonyaking.com, and I know we're also on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
we're on YouTube.
No actual video, just a picture.
Not yet. But now that we're so appreciative of all of you, and I just hope that you're happy and healthy, and if you are a caregiver, or not, even if you care for yourself, give yourself time, pay attention to what you're feeling, emotionally, mentally, physically, and be good to yourself, because like Josh said, you've got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Yeah.
So, and yeah. So I hope that you're healthy and happy and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you next week. Love ya.
Bye.